You're wrong on the word asylum, by the way. Asylum didn't mean asylum. Asylums were actually started as safe places. They were safe buildings, safe compounds, safe. Asylum meant asylum. You know the word asylum, like when you say I am seeking asylum, I'm seeking whatever protection. They were actually compounds built originally. They were smart think tanks or smart schools, basically, and asylums were safe places that had guards that would protect the weaker or less or mentally challenged people from people that would take advantage of them. Um, like a mentally challenged person would be inside an asylum, which is basically basically like a town, pretty much, or like a building, a large building where you would live, and you'd be free. You could come and go. The original asylums that I created of the 1800s, you could come and go as you pleased, and you were just like you'd sign out, and you would leave, and if you didn't come back in, you weren't dragged in. They would just go and find you and make sure that you weren't kidnapped or lost. It depended on your mental status. But those were the early days asylums. When they say about asylums and healing areas of the 1800s, that's what they're talking about. They were basically just buildings, groups of buildings, basically where mentally challenged people or people that needed help would live. That was it. And you would sign a sign out sheet because because these people would go missing, and sometimes they would fall down wells or something like that. There were a few bad cases where people would be found to be dead, you know, um, or something worse, raped, whatever. And basically, you would sign out on a sheet of paper. It wasn't like the horribleness. And then there was no locked padded rooms. There were padded rooms if a person was really that bad off. But I mean, who would be that bad off? Usually when people said they want to leave, it's like, let them leave then. I mean, I was always like, whenever anybody was like, should we keep them? I was like, no, let them go. Even in the what's it called? I never wanted to be people to be kept against their will. And anytime anybody ever asked me, what should we do with these people? They want to leave. It's like, let them leave. I don't. I was always worried about like people like being held against their will. You know me. If you know me, you know me. And so asylums were basically just protection areas for people that needed help or were under the influence of drugs. Although it kind of got misused a little bit, and around the 1980s, I closed them down entirely because I felt like they were being misused and were being mismanaged um, in those ways. And so I closed them down by order of me and basically Bush. I not Bush. I mean Reagan actually did it for me. But but originally asylums, yeah, they began as basically schools for less fortunate. They were not a place of keeping people against their will though. They were never supposed to be used for that. And likewise, in today's world, the drug rehabs have kind of become the same way, where they're keeping people against their will and locking them up in jail or something like that. And it's basically the same old thing, where some piece of shit is misusing my commands and misusing my buildings to basically ruin people's lives. It seems like it always seems to happen. Anyway, um, but basically, asylums of the old days were basically the same way. Um, People could go there and they could leave freely, just like in a drug rehab. That's why you're supposed to be able to leave freely. Although, likewise, some piece of I get a little mad because it seems like people are always misusing and abusing my power, my authority, and I don't like this. Anyway, um, asylums of the old were the same way. The 1800 asylums, and they were by my direction and my order. The less fortunate would go to school and everything else. And likewise, somebody is misusing them. Seems like no matter what, some piece of shit just wants to either lock me up or lock someone else up in my works of kindness and compassion. So I don't give a fuck if you call them drug rehabs or asylums or suck my fucking dick. It's the same old story. And they were my idea. Stop fucking with me and my orders. Seems like people are always abusing my rules. I do not like this. Nor have I forgotten entirely. So I don't care what year you're in. I don't care if you're in the 1900s, 1800s, or 2000 or 8,958. Abuse is abuse. And it should not be tolerated, nor will it.